Johnny Lazer here, and I was asked to do a video on my glasses, a more in-depth with the RA2 rotary tool and the programming. So we're going to get to that today. We're going to be engraving. I got some glasses here. All right, I've already painted it black because that's pretty straightforward. The black is for the frosting. And then we're going to do the white chalk paint with the titanium dioxide for the black lettering. But today is more about the setup and picking up and using the RA2 rotary tool. Now, a lot of people have been asking questions on my green laser. Where do you get it? What is it? And I'm going to show that to you right now. It's the RA2 accessory kit that you buy separately. And on the Canadian website, it's $105 in Canadian. Worth the money. Much easier pickup. The green laser puts a center down the x-axis to help you pick things up. It also comes with a base. Okay, let me show you all this stuff here. All right, so we're gonna just go over here. Here's all the stuff it comes with. All right. First off, comes with these little 90-degree feet you can place in there, and it'll hold the base better. I don't really use them. I don't, you can take the tape off and tape it down, but they come with that. So next thing up is the base itself. It comes with this base. The chuck is from the rotary tool. You take the chuck off and the belt off, and you put it on this base here. And what this base helps you to do is one of the easiest things. It has a knob here, and by turning this knob, it angles so you can get your glass level much easier. And it's lengthwise this way, so makes it much more sturdier. And of course, the one thing everybody's been asking about is the laser. This is a green laser. When you turn it on, you can see it makes a green laser light straight. And where you put this, right here at the top, this gets placed by the dowels right in these two little holes, and you put it down, turn it on, and you have a green laser light showing right down the center of the chuck axis. Makes it for much easier pickup, and it's just and making it horizontal. Comes with batteries and replaceable batteries, and it's just a nice piece of equipment. Now I want to fit my glass into the chuck here. Now I could open the jaws up and place it all the way in to hold it. And that's probably what we're going to do here. Okay? So to hold it in, we put the glass in, and the back of the glass is all the way to the back of the jaws to help it hold it down. All right? Or we could go from the top. All right, we could go from the top. And hold it in that way. And then we have all this area for engraving. But if we hold it from the back, we're holding it from here, so we have from the back to the front. So it's all depends on where you want to put your engraving. You want to put it closer to the bottom, closer to the top. Now, if we want to get the biggest engraving, what we'll have to do is we'll have to remove the screws, put the jaws in a bit, and then hold it from the inside. That way we have the entire area for engraving, and that's probably what we're going to do. So let's do that now. We're going to remove the screws and move the jaws inward. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to remove the screws here on the jaws and move the jaws in. You just unscrew them carefully. And it does not. Alright, that was a waste of time. We'll have to go to the smaller sets of jaws. Alright, let me get those ready. Okay, so now I've gone ahead and I've replaced the big jaws with the smaller jaws. Alright, now we have to take out the honeycomb. Now the machine is off. Don't do this. Always do it, turn the machine off. Take out your honeycomb. And what I do is I remove the tray all the way. I take it right out. I put this padding down on my table here, so when I put my rotary table inside, it doesn't move around. Now I take my rotary unit. Careful with this wire. I do not like how xtool has this wire here at the end. Very flimsy, so be very careful there. I placed the rotary tool inside. And we plug it into the front port. And what I also like to do is I take one of my hard blocks here and I place it down on the wire so the wire doesn't get in the way. I just let it sit on there just so it doesn't get in the way. Okay? So here's what I have. Alright, the rotary tool is inside, the wire is plugged in, and I got the block on the wire so it doesn't get in the way. Alright, now it's not aligned, it's just sitting there. I have yet to turn on the machine. Alright. Now I'll turn on my machine and let it... Alright. I will take my jar, or glass actually, and we'll place it. Now I'm using the jaws on the inside of the glass. I'm placing this inside the glass, trying to get the back even here. I'm watching the back. I'm turning the chuck here. I'm watching the back to see if there's any wobble. And it's not too bad. Alright. So we'll tighten everything up, snug it up, and there we go. Now I take my green laser light. Alright, I place it into the chuck here. Oh, wait a minute, wait. First, let us level this. And by turning this knob, it's level. So I'll look at it in a couple spots. Not bad. So I'll take my laser leveler, or laser center finder, Put it down in the chuck and turn it on. And see how it makes a nice laser light right down the center for easier pickup. And I can tell I'm way off. I just move this over. Oh, still a little off. And there we go. I'm on center. All right. So and before all this, remember, measure the diameter of your cup. I get a diameter of 3 inches, 152 thou, and I've got 3.5 inch length to work with. All right. So I haven't picked up the top. I haven't transferred nothing in. So let's go into the programming and we'll look at that. Here we are on the xtool website, the Canadian site. And many people here are asking about my center piece for picking up the green laser. And this is the xtool accessory kit for the RA2 Pro. Very worth it. I'll show each individual piece that I have here. But this is the on the computer. Right here, this one right here is your center. It fits in the chuck and makes, when you turn it on, it puts a green laser light down the center of the axis, of the x-axis to easier pickup center. You have two 90-degree edges, which you can put here and here for quick positioning. And then you have this base. Now this base is really nice because you take off the chuck and the belt and you put it on here. And what happens is when you put a glass in here, by turning this knob, you actually elevate the angle up and down rather than adding blocks or trying to figure out the angle. It's just as simple as turning a knob. All right. So this is the xtool accessory kit for the RA2 Pro. $105 in Canadian money. Totally worth it. Makes picking up so much easier. All right. And it comes with extra batteries for the laser, positioning studs for your chuck. When you put them in, you only put it in once and it stays in there. And Allen screws and hex keys here, screwdrivers to help you put it together. Alrighty, this is what everybody's been asking about, my green laser, and that's this piece right here, the big tuning fork. And I'll show those pieces separately. All right, we are now in XCS. As you can see, my little pointer dot is right here. I haven't picked up center. I haven't changed. I'm still processing on base plate, okay? Let us make our program now. All right, so what we want to do is I'm bringing in an image. Let us see where this image is. All right, glasses, download. Of course it's not there. Oh, there it is. My beach image. This is going to be my image here. I'm going to edit it. I'm going to use my magic wand here and get rid of all the outside and all this here because I don't need it. Just a waste of space. And don't worry if you make a mistake. For example, say you make a mistake and go, whoop. Just go up here, undo. All right. Now that we got that, I just hit save. And there is my background beach. Going to add some lettering now. And life's better at the beach. All right. I'm going to use the engrave there so I can see it better. I'm going to change the font. I always like something a little crazier. No, you know what? I always like this. I like the gorditas. They're always nice. So we're going to take that and we make it a little smaller so we can fit it beside here. That looks nice. All right. Now, let's make a nice oval around it. So we'll just do a circle. Move the circle a little bit. Move that in a bit. Not bad, not bad. Let's bring this down a little bit. And move this in a little bit more. There we go. I like that. Let's move our lettering here a little bit up. All right, that doesn't look too bad. Now let's make it even better. I'm going to take all this and I'm going to put it on my black layer. And I use my black layer, that's my black lettering, my black marking when I'm using the white chalk. But first of all, we want to get the oval frost in the background. So I'm going to move that to the yellow. And if I click engrave, you see that it becomes solid. So that's going to be my frost layer. But I want to also make it, I'm going to click it back to score so it's not fill in. I'm going to copy it, or sorry, I'm going to take it, pick it up, there we go. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to offset it. Now I want to do a both offset, so I'm going to do external and inner. So if I do an offset of, say, 50 thou, that'll give me 100 thou, almost an eighth of an inch line. Let's see, what does that look like? And that doesn't look too bad. So what I'll do is I'll take the first line here, and let's move it to the red. And I'll take the second line and I'll move it to the red as well. Okay, now I'm going to turn off my black and my yellow. I'm left with this ring. Now if I take this ring and I say engrave, it'll engrave the whole thing. I don't want to do that. So what I do is highlight. So I highlight both rings. And which one of these? Unite? No. Alright, see, hit undo. I believe it is subtract. No. Subtracted overlap. And if I click engrave, I get left with this nice ring, which I'll move back to the black section. Now, I'll rename this my black section. Lettering. And my yellow section I will rename Frost. So that when I turn them on, there's my yellow and there's my black. Okay, so this is what we're going to be engraving. And now, I like to save. We're going to save it as under glasses, we'll save it as beach. All right. Now, we have that all saved in. All right. Now, this is going to be, I'm just going to move it out of the way. I highlight everything so everything moves together. I have to draw my actual glass here. So, we're going to do just a plain rectangle. There's our rectangle. We're going to move this to the red. All right. Now we're not outputting it, so we're going to click off output. This is going to be my glass. All right. Now, let us switch from process on base plate to chuck. There we go. We're going to put in our diameter here at 3.152. All right, and that tells if I switch from diameter, come on, to perimeter, it tells me 9.906. So what I do is I take my rectangle and I make the height 9.906. All right. And I know I've got 3.5 inches over here. Oops. Should have turned, I gotta turn this off. Turn off the lock. 9.906. There is my, this is now my glass. All right. Now I'm only doing the engraving on one side. I'm not doing both sides, so I'm not going to do a half square so I get it even. I'm just going to put it all on center. So I'm going to go over here. Now since my front is over here, front of my glass is here, I have to rotate this 90 degrees. All right. So I can now take this and let us fit it in. There we go, we're on center. Let's get it a little bigger. Move it back on center there. And there. All right. And then we're going to save everything again. All right, now that we have it saved, let us modify our parameters. Our bottom one is our glass, which is ignored. We don't want to do that. Here's our frosted layer. And of course, we're going to engrave it, and we're going to use our frost first pass. All right. Now, for all of these ones here, we're going to use our, where is it? Glass black. And I'm going to switch this down to 50%. I've been finding 50 is pretty good. But for now, we have to switch back, and we got to pick up the center of the glass and pick everything else up, okay? So that we get our line in here, and we have to move everything. So let's do that. We are switching over to the machine. Now, we have it already on center. So let's go ahead and pick up the top. Now when we pick up the top, that'll put a green line showing our center line into the program here. So let us pick up the top. Okay, and let us pick up the top of the glass. So I move the module over to the top. There we go. Now I'm going to remove my green laser, and this will be now in the program. Okay, now we're back in the program. We have our center line. We have our red pointer here at the top of the glass. Now we have to take everything and we have to move it. So let us move this. There we go. Everything is on center. Everything looks good. Now for our black, we're going to hit ignore because we don't want to do anything black now. We just want to do the frost. Okay, it's all on ignore. All right, so I'm going to frame it in, and then we'll start cutting. Let us frame everything in so we see where it's going to be. And we'll be able to see if this wobbles too much. Okay, I don't like it's a little too close to the black. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the center of my black paint here. So which is roughly right about there. All right. Now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to re-pick up the top. Now by re-picking up the top, that tells me that that orientates the center of my black paint to the glass. I'm going to move this to the front again, just to double check in the program. All right, everything looks good. I'm going to frame it in again. And that's more on the black. All right, so now we're going to do I do two passes with the frost. So let us do the first pass. Air assist is on. And off it goes. Alright, that came out really nice. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to run a second pass at half power. And we'll run it again. Alright. Let us remove it. You can see it created the oval frost. And we have a little problem here. This is where the jaw was. And the jaw, being black, absorbed the laser. So it actually lasered the jaw a little bit. So a little bit crooked here, but we'll see if we can fix it. Let's go clean it up. And then we're going to be applying the white chalk paint. Alright, so after cleaning, the frosting came out pretty nice. We do have a little problem here from the black jaws to over here. It looks like the oval was shifted a little bit. I don't know why. Could be a little inconsistency in the glass. Seems like there could be, but I'm hoping that the ring will cover that up. Alright, so we're going to get the white chalk paint on there, let it dry, and show you how to re-pick it up. And this is going to be a little bit on the difficult side because this is an oval. So all we can go is from center, and then we're going to have to pick up the top or the bottom and manipulate it a little bit. Alright, so let's get the white chalk paint on there, let that dry. 2 coats, and we'll get right back to it. Alright, now that the frost is done, it's cleaned up, I have the white chalk paint painted on. Now we have to put this in and pick up the oval, so that our black lines will go over top of it and then everything else will be in the center. So let's set that up into the machine and I'll show you how that's done. Okay, so I'm going to set this up. Now, got it tighten up. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in my center here. And this is just to pick up the alignment in center. I'm not picking up the top or anything yet. All right. Okay, not bad, not bad. So, what I'm going to do, grab my flashlight so that I can see into the center of this thing, hopefully. No, maybe not. There we go. I'm trying to pick up the center of the oval. I'll move that for a second. I can see my oval here. It's pretty close. Over to here. Alright, that's pretty much the center of the oval on the x-axis. Let's make sure this is still in line. A little bit off now again because I moved it just a tad. Go back to the center there. The edge. And the edge is right there. Okay. Now I haven't picked up the top, so I haven't moved, put the green line into my program yet, but that's what we're going to do right now. So now we're going to pick up the top. Now, the red pointer is at the top of my frosted engrave. So if I'm going to switch this from engrave to score so I can see it better. And I'm also going to switch this to score so I can see that better. Now, and I'm actually really close. So I'm going to move everything. Just down a little bit. Actually just up a little bit. There we go. Yeah. Okay. I do here. Score so I can see it better. And I'm also going to switch this to score so I can see that better. Now, and I'm actually really close. So I'm going to move everything. Just down a little bit. Actually, just up a little bit. There we go. Yeah. Okay. Everything looks. I want to move everything right to there. Okay. I'm going to score the top. Not this one, but my outside. Just to see. First I'm going to frame it in. Let's frame it in, make sure it's spinning good. All right, let's score it. Just I didn't hit ignore on that engrave, did I? No, I did not. So let's just score the top. Not half bad. All right, so now we're gonna cancel that output. I'm gonna go over here and say score. All the lettering. Look at that anymore. I just want my lettering and my oval. Alright. The scoring came out good, so now we're going to switch this to engrave. And off we go. Alrighty. Well, that came out rather nice. Push this back. There we have. Life's better at the beach. Let's go wash this off and we'll see how close we are. Well, after cleanup, the glass didn't come out too bad. There are some alignment issues around the outside. For some reason, the frosting is a little bigger than the border. But all in all, not bad. It's much harder to realign when you don't have an edge to pick up. Okay? If it's, you know, a square edge or something, that's a lot easier to pick up into the program and onto here where it's rounded. But all in all, not bad at all. I'm enjoying this glass work. I hope this helps more in depth. If you've got the rotary tool, I recommend picking up the rotary tool accessory kit. If anything, because I wish they would sell this alone, because this little tool here, this little green laser lighty thingy here is, I mean, it's like a laser leveler, eh? It's so darn handy. And the base itself, where you can level it off the glass, helps a lot as well. So, well, I hope this helps everybody. One of these days I'm going to do it more in-depth in programming. It's a lot of layers, copying and pasting layers upon layers and then turning layers on and off, and you know, engraving and scoring. But once you do it once or twice, you start to go, oh yeah, that's how, oh, I see. It reminds me of the old days when we were in school. Remember the overhead projectors when they used to put the transparents and then it would project on a screen and they could put another one on top? Same thing. That's what these layers are. Well, I hope you enjoyed this. It's Johnny Lazer. We'll talk to you soon. Happy lasering.
Thank you.